Hey, we got something. Okay, we're back. Strange. Okay, let's see if we can isolate the voice on this thing. Not the high pass filter. I don't know what this is. Yep. I'm using the Shure software. I don't actually know how to use it though, so this is kind of like my first time with it. You would think you'd be able to put filters on this stuff, but I wouldn't know how to do that. So how about instead we go through OBS and we throw something on that way, okay? I feel like a DJ right now. All right, we've got a limiter, we've got gain. Do we want a noise gate maybe? I don't know if that's going to do anything. Maybe we put a bit more of a threshold on this thing. You said you're hearing more of the room. I can't even tell. I couldn't even tell you if that's doing better or worse or what. Alternatively, we could also do this. Watch this. We could try instead doing just this. And does that make it significantly different? That would be louder. If I can put it down though, so it's like more like this. How, oh God. How different is that? Better, worse? What do we reckon? Oh, the laptop fan. Yeah. Less clear. Okay, we'll bring the other one back. Yeah, this is the danger of using the laptop, because it definitely wants to be loud. It's hissing a lot. And there's no, like, I guess I could bring, what is it? Is it a limiter or a gate? I should do some research on how this stuff works. But, is my mic? Yeah, man, like I'm talking like, I mean, this is where we're at. I could point it a little bit more towards me. That's like, now we're speaking right into it. In fact, I can hear it doubled, which is a little weird. Let me see if I can fix that. How about that? That's better. But I just feel like I'm not. I feel like maybe I'm getting like a monitor back, which I don't want. All right. Well, there is a gate on it. No, USB directly, not XLR. Anyway, I mean, does it sound good at least, or is it the thing that I'm most like, you know, neurotic about is the S sound. If it's like too much SH in the S, you know? If that's not the issue, if that's no problem, then we're good. Hey everybody in YouTube land, how's it going? Yeah, so anyway. Not too fuzzy, okay. Yo, thanks for the follow. Whoever just followed. Okay, well, now that that's sorted, I should be able to... So weird not to be able to monitor the stream anywhere, you know? Like I want to be able to see things on my left-hand side where my eyes are on my second monitor, but that's now over here where my laptop is. I could move the laptop further. I could try to sit it on top, maybe. We could bring it up there, but that's not going to be further from the mic, so. New PC is up and running. There are two things I don't love about this Shure mic that I really liked about the previous mic. One is that there was a knob on it and I could turn that up and down, and a mute button. Without those things, I feel like I'm a little bit, like I don't have control. You know what I mean? So, you know, we gotta deal with it. I also, because I don't have a mute button, this is the closest thing I've got. Did that mute? If it did, that's good. Maybe I need like an interface. You get like an XLR interface. Yeah, I do. I've got the Stream Deck. That's exactly what I did. Hey, beloved fool. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Okay, so shall we get into it? I'm using the Elgato 60 HD 60 capture card. So what I'm doing now is you're watching the output on my primary monitor of my PC being routed through an HDMI splitter, well, through the device into my laptop. So you can see what I'm doing. Still says building a PC. Okay, I'll fix that. Okay, cool. So, all right, well, I guess I'm good. I really don't like my laptop here, but I really don't have anywhere alternate to put it. It's killing me that it's so far out of my peripheral vision. What could I possibly do? I think we need to spend like just a minute or two getting this right. Otherwise, I'm gonna get, it's gonna be an issue. I can't put it in front of me because the camera would, at that point, that's where maybe we'd be able to get away with it. Will this be available to watch later on YouTube? Yes, it will be. You're good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I could route the output of the laptop into my second monitor. So we're going... let's not do that. Okay. How am I going to fix this? How am I going to fix it? There's no real orientation. There's nothing good. The only thing I can do is bring... I can like... I got another device. We could use this. And then maybe we go... Technically, a little bit of chat this way. Can I do this? Sorry, pals. It's a little bit of a... It's an awkward start today. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay, cool. I got you in landscape on my tablet. And I can check chat. And then I can go to YouTube. And I can go to my channel. And see me streaming. Oh, and I can see the chat there too. Awesome. Very good. Okay. Cool. Well, now I've got the chat. Now we're good. And I can just ignore that over there. Tell me if the audio is bad at all. But, oh yes, this is exactly how we want it. All right, well. Gosh dang it, I guess we got to start doing some dev now. The new computer is sick. It's so good. It's really good. One sec, let me see if I can, oh, you don't want to see that. Ooh. Oh, I wish it just wasn't that way though. But only, no, that's not gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, new PC is great. Let me just make sure I'm not gonna dox myself with anything that shows up on the screen. That's all good. Okay, yeah. So like, check this out. Look at this. Look at this shiz. We are running at 1% CPU. That can't be right. Right? It can't be right. Something's wrong with that. That's an insane value. That can't be right. We've got 30% of memory being used, but it's actually not 30%. This is what, 8 gigs? Maybe out of, yeah, maybe that is 8. HW info, yeah. We could do a temp check. I don't think it's an issue. Isn't this a 60 FPS stream right now, Prep? Aren't you literally watching in 60? It's the end address. Wait. It's over here? Is that right? You speak into the... That can't be right. It's the SM7 Plus. That doesn't seem right. Really? Really? You speak its end address? Oh, well, that changes everything, doesn't it? Gosh dang it. Okay, well. Okay, well, that's great. Let me turn the volume down a little if that's too loud. So good now? Damn. Okay, I've never had one of these before. I've never had a mic that you speak into the top of. All right. Yeah, I actually had it pointed to my laptop fan. That's literally what it was doing. Thank you, Ad Hoc Dev. Appreciate it. Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm just going to use my deep voice. So, yeah, this is, the game is running. Can you hear this at all? I'm not sure you can hear that. Let me turn this off for a sec. Yeah, I don't know if the capture card has an audio stream. It should have one. I'm not actually sure if it comes with. It has to. It has to come with audio, but that audio isn't being sent over HDMI unless I send it through the HDMI by going. Ooh, one sec, pals. This is a bit tricky, isn't it? The audio mixer needs to output to this, and then maybe that'll be it. So let's come back over to here. Doop. And then, ooh, that seemed like it was very loud. Maybe like that would be a good point. Now the problem is I can't hear that. So I now have to monitor that, I guess. Oh, I hear that. I hear that. Okay. It's weirdly mixed because like for me, like for what I'm hearing here is a lot quieter. Maybe if I probably could use voice meter. It's not bad. Are you hearing that twice? Are you hearing that? You actually might be. Something weird's happening where desktop audio, which is what I would expect you to hear, is being routed back through. Oh, that's so weird. But you might. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's making it really bad. Damn. It's really complicated how to get this set up correctly. Because what's happening is like when I have this playing, I'm hearing it twice. I mean, I'm seeing it being monitored twice. And I don't know how to make that right. Like if I crank this up, tell me how loud you hear that. Is that like barely audible or is that like actually quite loud? It's pretty loud. Yeah. That means you're hearing it from the Elgato capture. So I do this, I mean, what about that? Are you hearing that loud or quiet now? That's really quiet now? That's good. So if I play the music, they should be about the same. We good now? Awesome. Yeah, that's good. That's probably what it should sound like. All right, now we can get back to dev. I keep forgetting I can see what you're saying like beneath here. Okay, so I don't need to look over here. Although I did need to before, but not now. All right. God damn. So, yeah, things are good now. Things are moving really quick. What I was trying to do before I so rudely, I'm not hearing it twice. Before I so rudely interrupted my day by doing all of this, I was trying to set up a very specific thing. I got this problem in the game where you can do this. Let me show you. You see that? You can run into the wall, and if you jump at the exact right time, if you buffer the jump, you can actually jump off the wall. Now, it's a cool little gamer move, but it shouldn't be there. And the reason why it happens is that when you run at the wall, there is exactly one frame where Armin, his physics collider, kind of goes into the wall, and the wall is tagged as the wall is tagged as ground if it's not climbable. But ground is something you can stand on, and if you can stand on the ground, then you can. So this overlap right here, right there. If you check down here, well, there's a little check it's actually this entire block. It's not this curve, although maybe it might be this blue box. I'm not sure. It's something. Either way, in fact, it probably is that blue box. There are times when that blue box, well, there you go. If you buffer the jump and you get this to happen, you can kick off the wall. This overlap is not sufficient unless I shrink it in a little bit more. The overlap is not sufficient to stop you. Well, it's sufficient for you to jump, basically. So it's a little unfortunate that it's like this. Yeah, the next GDQ. Exactly. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this. I'm realizing I'm probably not talking directly into it. Is this related to that wall cling sound stuttering bug? It could be. It could be. So, the way that I was going to try to fix this was to do a raycast from this point to the right and from this point to the left, and to see if the normal of the raycast that you hit is really, really steep. And if it's really, really steep, don't consider yourself grounded. And then I realized that that doesn't work, because if you're standing on the ground, if you're here, that condition is going to be the same. So I can't use that. It's not really about what's to the left or right versus what's below you. It really is just, if you want to do this right, this cannot be considered the ground. Like, it's a tile rule issue. I can fix this. It just means I have to reprocess all the tiles in the game. And then I think to myself, but can I hold to that? Like, is that valid? I could also check. I could wait one frame. That's another thing I could try to do. Just give it a frame. And if it's not the case one frame later, because like here there is overlap, next frame, oh, there's even more overlap. Okay, well then. And look, he's actually standing still. Okay, so it's not one frame. You would think that the collision system would push you out. I'm surprised that doesn't do that. I think this is interpolate versus extrapolate. I don't know if that's the difference maker. Hey, I'm working in C#. Enter. If people found crazy speedrun tricks after you release, would you patch them or keep them in? If they're crazy speedrun tricks, I'll keep them in. If they're obvious and game breaking and easy to do, I'll cut them out. Yeah, the collider ain't colliding. That's the problem. So, I mean, the thing is, there's no way of really easily differentiating between this scenario we're in right now, where it's like, you know, this, where there's ground here and ground here, versus standing here on the very edge. You know, that's the same kind of thing. That's no different. So you would want, you would want this to be, I mean, the check we could do is to check to see if there's also ground up here or something like that. Or like, no, I mean, the condition is, yeah, like the problem is that whether you are, I'll illustrate it. Whether you're here, actually better off if I do it in Figma. The problem is there are three kind of scenarios. There's this, this, and this. So either you're going to be here, or you're here, or you're here. And in all of these scenarios, well, there's no one way to catch this that doesn't overlap with this and this. That's the problem. So if I say, well, you know, you've got to be, if our check on if our like rectangle check thing says, you know, let's just say our rectangle says, let's say we're checking specifically here. Well, now, in order to make this not overlap with the wall ever, if this can go in like that, the only thing we can do is, oh, hey, El Santa, thank you so much. Yeah. The only thing that we can really do is bring this in, right? Which we don't want to do. We don't want to bring this in, because if you bring this in and you take this and copy paste it to this scenario, now what happens is, if you're right on the edge, you don't actually get any ground contact. So like, if you do this, that's bad. So you can't bring it in, because now you're just going to be in floating land when you're in this situation. Okay, so we don't bring it in. What if instead we check to see if there is something beneath us? Okay, but the beneath check is in, right? Like you can't, hey, thank you so much. Oh, I don't have, there is an activity feed. Zamig, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, if I'm trying to differentiate between the wall versus the floor, anytime I get a wall check, I have to say, well, is there floor? And if I say like anything specific, I have to say, well, like for example, if I try to check the normal of this thing, I say, oh, but this thing is facing this way, and the ground, if that existed, would be facing this way. Okay, but then the question is, where do I ask this question? Where does this raycast live? Right? If this raycast lives in the middle, then I'm virtually doing this. Virtually, I'm saying the only part that is actually ground is the part where I'm raycasting, because if for whatever reason you happen to be again here in you know, well, not here, in this position, well, I mean, what if you're like this, right? Like now you'll actually fail that check because that raycast is happening here. So anytime you try to differentiate between wall and floor, you're actually creating a condition that excludes this little edge. Now we could try and place, and then the other thing you can do, this is the other thing I've tried in the past, is just do this, right? Like what if we have like little corners like this, right? Well, then again, like what happens if you're on something that's thinner, like this? Now you're considered on the wall, but you're not considered on the ground. So there's no really nice way to do this. The answer is really just have collision that works. So we can ask we can ask GPT to see if it can stop that from happening. Is it possible in Unity to stop colliders entering one another in physics 2D? That's kind of like what we are looking to do. Now, continuous collision detection, yes. Continuous is good for fast moving objects. I don't think that fixed it. I think we are on continuous. Increasing my iterations? Perhaps we could try that. Yeah, for sure. Could it have anything to do with the fixed update rate? It's possible. It's possible. We'll have a look. I wouldn't count it out. I think I've got it set to 60 though. What am I missing here? Should I be in, is it time? I think it's the time. Fixed time step. That's 1/60th of a second. That's pretty reasonable. Position iterations on physics 2D. I mean, let's call it, we can call it 5 if we want. Let's make it 10. Let's just see what happens, yeah? I don't know if that's like a ridiculous number or a good number. Well, I can definitely still do it with 10. So we could try it again. We could try it with more. Yep. Okay, not 100. If it's not 100 and it's not 10, then I don't want to touch it. Let's keep it at like 5 and 5. There is linear correction. The maximum linear position corrected when solving constraints. This helps prevent overshoot. 0.2 is a lot. That feels like a lot. That's 20 pixels. Are we lowering it? Wouldn't that be min then? I mean, we could try it. Yeah, let's call it 0.01, yeah? Okay, it's not that. This was at 20. So, I mean, we call it 1. Wait, what? Did I get it? No. Okay. Good old playtesting. All right. Let's put it back where it was. That's all good. Now, I thought this was the difference between extrapolate and interpolate. The per frame update mode for the body. Let's look at it. Let's see what we get. The thing is, you get weird movement stuff when you do it differently. Interpolation is more accurate than extrapolation. Extrapolation can make objects appear to move ahead of where they should be. No, so it's interpolate. That's right. Hey, thank you so much, Costa. How to stop Unity colliders 2D colliders intersecting. Use continuous collision detection. Did I turn this off when I jump? Hang on, I gotta make sure I didn't. No. Okay. There could be one other problem, but let's not overguess what it is. Seems like you have tried continuous, but note that any collision overlaps take time to solve. You are causing the overlaps and you are asking for the solver to solve those during the simulation step. You can control the speed of this overlap using Baumgart scale 3 or Baumgart scale for 2. Continuous. Wait, 3 and 2. What does this 2 do? TOI scale. How fast TOI overlaps? What's a TOI overlap? What the hell does TOI mean? Anyone know the what's TOI? What? Spider? What? What does TOI mean? Help me, GPT. Time of impact. Okay, thank you, GPT. Hey, Free Hacker Radio, thank you so much for the sub. We have a chatter in Insignia Discord that started a chat in DevTalk. Eric Passos. "2D distance." Let's have a look. Wait, what? I'm not seeing anything in DevTalk. Hey, Carla. Look, I am considering not streaming on YouTube in the same way that I'm doing now. I want to show you something. This is like it's a little spooky for me. What this did. Check this out. I want to show you a little image. I want to show you my analytics. One sec. It's really like alarming. One sec. So this happened last year exactly the same way. And I thought maybe it'd be different this time, but evidently not. So check this out. This is my subscribers per day. When I started streaming, this is when I started streaming. So like literally there's like something happens right here where it's like, oh, actually, hang on, I'm a noob at paint. Right here, it's like so many people are unsubbing that it's making my total subscriptions per day go negative. Like more people are unsubbing than subbing, and 80 people to 100 people per day were subbing before. So that means there's like 120 people unsubbing per day when I stream, which is kind of scary. Like, geez. It seems like a really loud signal. Like, hey, Adam, stop doing this. I did Ayatri. Yeah. So I put a poll up last night to see like what people thought. Like, is this just me, or like, is it like what's happening here? And there is. Hang on a second. Let me undo that. Do it here. If I go to my, not that. Hang on. My post. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so I posted this yesterday, and about 5% of my subscriber base doesn't want to see the streams on the YouTube channel. Like, they don't want to see the content on their feed. 5%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but 5% of like 260,000 people is a lot of people. So like, you know, 260,000 times 0.05. That's 13,000 people who are like, get this out of my face. I don't want to see you streaming, which is a little unsettling. So I guess, yeah, I mean, there's two strategies here. One strategy is like, just power through and it'll even out. And after everyone who's going to unsub unsubs, the people who have subbed since then will replace them and will keep on going up. But the alternative is like, maybe this is just not what my audience on this channel wants to see of me. And maybe I would be better off building from scratch. The thing is, that feels so counterproductive. It feels like building a secondary channel from scratch would take so much longer than recouping the losses, you know? It's probably not representative. Yeah. Since they're engaged enough to respond to the poll. Yeah, there's probably a much larger number of people who feel this way who don't even respond to the poll. Thanks for the content. Don't want to see your face otherwise. Yeah, it's a bit like that. I mean, like, look, it's okay. I understand that, like, what the service that I provide as a tutorial creator is not the same as the interest that I generate as a streamer of game dev. I know they're different audiences, but like, yeah, it's a little, I would have thought maybe like, there was something else about this that I saw on a Reddit thread that raised a little alarm bell, which is that, or it might have been on a comment for this. People aren't used to seeing me stream content every day. I've been streaming on Twitch every day for like 6 years or whatever, but like on YouTube, I post like once a month, once every 2 weeks, once a week at most. So the idea that like, oh, Adam's he's just spamming streams now. I don't want to watch that. You know, today and tomorrow and the next day, like that's different. That's a different cadence to one cool video every couple of weeks. So the idea that I'm spamming somehow could come into it. To me, that's crazy because like, this is just what I do anyway. I'm just putting it here and, you know, as well. But yeah, it's an odd one. And what I don't want is for the algorithm to start dunking me, you know, to start being like, no one likes this guy anymore. So we're just going to not suggest his videos to anyone, which sort of started happening, I thought maybe last year around this time when I was streaming. So I don't know. You always get people saying, oh, we missed you when you streamed. Why did you stop? But I don't want my channel to suffer. Not now. You know, I've built a lot to get here. So it feels like a strange risk, which it shouldn't. I feel like if I was like, you know, there are other channels that can do this and they don't seem to notice it. So, oh, it says time of impact here. That's nice. Let's read this. Yeah, the scale factor that controls how fast time of impact overlaps are resolved. Ideally, this would be 1, so that overlaps are resolved in a single time step. However, using values close to 1 often lead to overshoot. Using values close to 1 lead to overshoot? Well, if I say, wait, when it says how fast, is this, let's try this one. What does this do? How fast overlaps are resolved? Oh, okay. It's the same thing. If I say 2, is that slower or faster? Let's see what happens. Get out of my face. All right. Yeah, there is something strange about it where like you could say like, well, why don't you just drive people more towards your Twitch channel? Like that's where people stream. So like, that's where you should be, right? Wow, was that perfect? Damn it. It did seem a little better. No, it's not frame dependent. It shouldn't be. I mean, we could bring this down to like 0.5, see what happens. I don't know if smaller is faster or if bigger is faster. Yeah, and I also think that maybe it's not even a question of the Baumgart scale because it's happening on the frame, but yeah, that's right. That's right, Ayatri. Well, let me say something else. This is kind of like a little this is kind of like something that is cynical, but I have to use all the leverage that I have as a creator. If I go and push Insignia to a publisher and say, look at how many people are invested in my game, you should be invested too. The plausible deniability, I think that's the word, or like, I think that's the word. You know, there's no reason not to believe that those people aren't invested in the game emotionally or whatever. Or if it's some multiple less than that, that's speculation, right? We don't know how many people. I would guess it's probably like 30,000 people are actively invested in Insignia, or at least would, you know, they know my game from my channel and they know that I'm making it and they understand that I'm, you know, what's happening. Because I've got about 30K views on videos that are primarily about Insignia. Each video gets about that many. So in the absence of that particular fact, because that's still speculation, I don't actually know the answer to that. Any data that tips that suggestion in the opposite direction, that it's smaller, even smaller than that, I kind of don't really want to invite right now. Because like, obviously it's smaller than 260K, but like nobody can say how much smaller. So yeah, it's, to me, it feels strategic to make my channel as big as possible rather than to try and clarify. Like before release, yes, I want to know exactly how many people are interested, and wish lists do that. But for now, it's like, let's you know, puff the chest up as big as we can and look good. YouTube has a reputation of being specific topic-based content, like how-tos and stuff. Streaming here is growing, but for me, YouTube will always be where I quickly learn stuff. Yeah, I'm totally open to it being, like, I think I use it that way too. So I guess it's just, I just never really expected like what feels like almost backlash, you know? That's the thing. It's like, it almost feels like people specifically don't want to see it, and they're actually saying, I would prefer not to even know about your channel, bro. than to see these thumbnails. Like, it's fine if people don't watch it. I'm happy if like 2,000 people watch the stream per VOD. That's a typical number. And then nobody else who's a sub watches it. And maybe that number grows over time or whatever. But like, it's the fact that like people actually are canceling their follow, you know, they actually don't want to watch. They don't want to even know about my channel because of how much they don't like seeing the content. Yeah. Okay. So let's try something else. There's a couple of things here. When you've got a game that's been around for so long, there are lots of little reasons why things can change, and I want to be careful about those reasons. So when I jump, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this curve, I thought that I had been doing stuff with this that, let's close this for now, and this and this. What's the word? What am I trying to do here? Not this, go away. Yeah, like, this radius, update nav collider size. Yeah, radius is 0. If we're grounded, radius is 0.2, otherwise it's 0.1. So if my velocity on the y-axis is going up, then it should be 0. Oh, it actually is 0. Cool. Okay. So it becomes rounded as we fall. That's fine. All this is to say, it's real. The thing I'm really concerned about is this condition, not that. This condition where Armin is falling and he's right over. He's right over the thing. And I don't want him to bounce off. That's really the issue. All right, pals. I got to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a little bit. Be right back. Yo, we're back. So, I really want to solve this. I don't want to spend too much time on it. The answer is gonna have to be you would think that it could resolve in one frame. Well, we would have to make the physics time step the same as the graphics time step to do that. Actually, are we checking grounded more frequently than we should be? Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, that'll do it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that'll do it. Let's move that. So these three. All right, let's pop this there. When will the game be finished? When all the content is done and has been tested. How fast was that update? That was a full compile just then. And it didn't help us. Let's see if we can catch it too. One sec. Right now, it's just a physics overlap on a square, on a rectangle underneath the character that's slightly thinner. That's no good. Look at how many of these we get. Look at this. The number is 1. Hang on, let's do a more specific check. If grounded and grounded is not and not previous grounded is good enough there. Look at this. 3, 2, 1. Unity is done. Wow, that used to take like 15 seconds before. Okay. So it didn't happen that time at all. It happened that time once. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's only happening exactly once, but yeah, I know. I just don't know what that condition should be. I genuinely can't. I can't think about. I haven't found a heuristic that will actually work for the 3 scenarios that it needs to be robust enough to defend against. Like mostly on the side kind of like isn't good enough, but because it's possible that you could be, you could be just like here. That's, if this is the check that overlap is mostly on the side, and I want that to be considered grounded, right? So that's no good because you can't differentiate between this and this. We could do, and then you could say, okay, well, what about this area up here, right? That's overlapping. What about up here? What about if this is also colliding and this is not colliding, then we're on a wall, right? We're not on the ground. But then you could say, well, what about this condition? Now you take this and this, you put them over here, you should be on the ground here. So there's no difference between this and this as far as it's concerned. And if you say, okay, well, all right, what if we have two halves for this, right? So in this case, this half won't be on the ground and this half will be on the ground. But now that violates this because like that's still considered appropriate. Like you're still grounded right now just because you've got your toe on it. So there's no really nice way to do it, to differentiate. The only thing we could do is say, if the wall, if this collider, yeah, this might work actually. If this little check here is pinging yes, then this also has to be true. We have to have a wider condition in order for it to be considered properly grounded. So the yellow has to be true if green is true. If it's just red and no green, okay, let's try this actually. Let's think about this. In this case, it's just red, no green, which means it can be as thin as we want it to be. Of course, it's going to be a bit of an issue because you're going to fall through the ground this way and you're going to bounce and the green's going to show up. So maybe we bring it up a little bit. We give it a bit more grace. We say, okay, now that's the check, okay? So we say, if it's red and green, but no yellow, then we're not grounded. Here, red and green and yellow is true. So the only scenario this wouldn't work in is this, which, to be honest, when we say no yellow, we can make yellow this big. We can make yellow, the delta between red and yellow should be the amount of tolerance we expect to overlap when we go horizontal. Like that distance can be the check. And this will work in every context. Okay, we solved it. How long have you been making games in Unity? A long time, actually. It's surprising that I'm still dealing with this. It's been like since 2014, but every game's different, you know. All right, let's build this. I'm happy to make these just physics overlap checks, and we could do this like parametrically. I have this thing called self-awareness, but it might be time to start splitting that out into something like just body awareness. I mean, that's what self-awareness used to be called. So maybe it is fine to stay where it is, but it's this stuff here that we're looking at needs to be... Well, maybe I'll move it. Hang on. Let's put self-awareness on sensors. And then let's put, I think I've got target awareness as well. That can go on sensors as well. And then I'll plug them back in here onto Armin. Cool. They should still work the same way. I don't think it's a big difference. Unless there's a specific like transform dot position. Yeah, that's bad. That's better. Okay. Could you shoot a raycast from the center both ways and ignore the groundedness if it's hitting something closer to the bounds of the ground checker? Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Ocelot. We don't have to skip the meeting. We can do it today. You want to do it now-ish? I think it's probably best if we do it now. If you're watching the stream. Hey, work heroes, how's it going? Been following your channel for a while now and learned a few tips and tricks from you, so I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. No, it's all good, Ocelot. You didn't interrupt. It's all good. Today's a bit of a... The last 2 days have been a bit of a lost day in terms of what I should be working on, or at least I'm trying to do other things, so that's not to say that your stuff is not important. I actually think your stuff is more important than what I'm doing right now. So, let's do it, shall we? The only thing is, I don't know how the audio is going to route, so I'm going to see what happens. But we can try it. If I just call you on Discord, or actually, I'll jump into the general voice channel. That seems to be okay. Oh, but you might not hear me. Damn. Ah, man. Separate streaming PC. It's not great. It's not great for this kind of thing. Hey, Luca. Can you might have to watch my stream. Hang on. Oh, what a bother that there's no way to route this better. Damn. Hang on. Let me see what I can do. Input device. Wow, there's literally no input devices on my computer. Okay, well. One sec, buddy. I do have another mic. I do have another one. My old one. It's just not really connected nicely to anything. So it's just going to be like hanging around. There's got to be a way to mount this in a way that's not going to ruin everything constantly. Oh, Jesus. That's terrible. It's really bad. Yo, Luca, I can't hear you just yet. Just 1 second. You can hear me now, I'm sure. This has got to go through that. And then, hello?
Hello.
Hey, that's better. We can hear you.
Nice.
Cool. It's probably super loud. One sec. For the first time, you're like very, very loud. But actually, you're fine by me. So let's just keep talking this way.
All right,
Um,
cool. Yes. Sorry, though, I was just double checking because I was thinking if I should head out or not. That's all.
Do you need to go soon?
No, not really. I just need to do some grocery shopping, really, sometime today.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
I'm going to place the mic on the table. Tell me if that's a bother for you. Just let me know if it's like if you can hear it a lot.
I can still hear you fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's try doing it this way then.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I've already pushed those updates. I mean, we already spoke kind of this morning as well, but
Mhm.
But you know, this is important too. It's cool that you decided to fix that little issue with Armin in the wall.
Yeah. Still
Yeah.
working on it, but I might just stash what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I thought there was an easy way to do this. If I stage everything, can I... How do I stash? I think I have to select... Oh no, that's everything. Okay, cool. I'll stash that. And that's what I am working on right now. All right, one sec. Cool. So I should be able to now go over to... You're in design, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Okay. Just going to re-import some stuff. My computer is so fast now that I actually can't tell when it's like doing things versus like not doing things. Like if it did it so fast that it feels like it skipped it.
Yeah, and you don't need hot reload anymore, almost.
I literally haven't been using it, but I probably should still use it anyway. It's actually crazy. Like I'm sure the people who develop Unity are using really good PCs and they don't know how slow it is.
Yeah, for us normies.
For us normies. Exactly. So, whereabouts have you been working?
I think it's that cluster towards the bottom on the scene graph there.
Yep, I see it now. So
yeah,
have we got
just,
any?
the thumbnails. Yeah.
Yep. How far from like yesterday was it? This is unchanged, right?
Yeah, the first two, starting from the right, they're the same.
Cool.
The third one, yeah, that one, I've just adjusted it based on what we kind of discussed this morning. So yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge to just to think of creative ways to make different set pieces for the wall climb and the the ascend, or is it Arise? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to say,
yeah, sorry.
I was going to say this, like you finding this challenging it's how it is for me. Like I also find it challenging. So, I'm definitely not like, if you had found this really easy, I would have felt bad about my development skills. So,
well, I guess initially it was easy because I was only focusing on, you know, one ability at a time. But then when you want to try to mix and match, it gets a bit more challenging.
Yep.
Yeah, it has been interesting.
And you were saying just now?
This part. So this part is mostly the same that was it yesterday? No, Monday. Other than hopefully that blocking the easy skip without the flame dash.
Yep. Ooh, but I need the thing to get up here. Hmm.
Yeah, right.
Let's see if I can do my.
It's a bit of back and forth. You know, in the actual game, we might not have it so back and forth. But
Yeah, I felt that I was doing
thinking,
something wrong there.
Yeah, like with when you do pick up a different ability, and how your previous ability just stays where the enemy used to be. Is that kind of the intended behavior that you're going with?
Of course, yeah.
Have you thought? Yeah. All right.
Why is that?
Especially with this part, it's been interesting. Like I'm thinking about where to place the enemy.
Yep.
Because you know when you swap, the previous ability you have is where the enemy was. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something else to consider.
Yeah, because it has to be somewhere, right? And I was thinking, like, if it's not, like, if it's somewhere that can be variable based on where the player was standing or like other things, like where the enemy, if the enemy can move where it died, it's too variable. It has to be somewhere that's consistent. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to design around it.
Yeah. Well, how does it work with the Hunden? Like, since they're moving around,
it's their spawn point.
I think. Oh, their spawn point.
I think so. It should be if it's not. If it's not the spawn point, then I'm being a hypocrite.
Well, see how I changed those two wall slides.
Yeah.
So now I think that's. So you got the left and the right side, and each side it should be. Like each ability will let you scale on one of the sides of the room, I guess, depending on.
As in, if I'm here, I'll be able to do this, or
with the snake. Yeah, you can get up that side. Yeah.
Can you? How do you do that?
With the
like
the flame
that,
charge
or...
to the right side.
Oh, okay.
Well, but it's supposed to flame charged. Yeah, over there. That's right.
And then go up. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah,
so
I would.
Did you do that shortcut with an attack in the air?
Yeah, I think I jumped just high enough to get
I see.
up to there. It's pretty ambitious, actually. Like, he shouldn't be able to do that, but I don't know how I got that extra air. I came up through the middle. Sorry, not ambitious, generous. It's a super generous ledge snap there. Maybe I'll take it away. Hey, Nick Diaz, thank you so much. Yeah, so actually, like, to me, there are some things here that, like for example, this ledge that we jump on here. If I do this and then this, it's probably that's fine. We could break it up into just like a two-parter of like one just jump across and have the ledge be there, because it's so close. Like the height, if you just were to go across, if this happened to be one block smaller, it would be as simple as just doing the jump across, which for this I'm happy with, like this early in. And because it's kind of like it's something that I think happened when I started working on Trauma, that game Trauma that I made for that game jam, where if you have very specific contours, then you can almost tell the player what abilities to use based on like the shape of the terrain. You know, you can be like, you have to go across, down, across, up, or whatever. And here, because it's kind of like a bit emptier, there's less there are a few visual anchors that you could aim for, and it's not super obvious that this is the, like, you know, you kind of have to think about it as like I'm trying to use the right vocabulary. Before we were talking about like puzzle versus platformer. This definitely feels more platformer than puzzle, to have this be the solution, but to have it be so close to just being the charge. But that's okay. Like we can insofar as this is like experimentation, I'm happy with it. Like I think it's good.
Well, my aim was to try to, make this jump where you need both the charge and the arise. I mean, you could also cross it by doing arise first and then charge. I guess in any of those orders.
Yeah.
So that would also work.
Yep.
I guess there's more options there, but I know what you're saying as well.
Yeah, it's mostly a telegraphing thing. Like if there were vines here that were like here, then you'd have to charge first and then go up. Or if there was like, vines sticking out here, then you would have to jump up and then go across. So it's just that the way of like informing the player of like, hey, there's an intended way to do this because we put obstacles where you're not supposed to do it. Even that can sometimes, I think, it can almost reinforce the fact that there is intent. Whereas when it's more ambiguous, there's a bit more guesswork. I actually don't mind. I don't mind ambiguity. We just have to be intentional about when we use it. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, I'll keep going. I also, in this meeting, like, how long did you have to chat?
Oh, I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere or anything. I mean, I'm okay. Yeah.
Cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I wanted to see what was on this side. Oh, I see. What I'd have to go across for that.
Yeah, it's a bit more back and forth and swapping. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. This is all feeling really good, in my opinion.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, because you need to go up with each ability, or in order to get the chest anyway. Guess it's like the strawberry and Celeste. They're just optional. You don't have to do it. And then
wonder if I can do that.
You can. I mean, yeah, I've done it. It's possible, but not to the end of the level though, unfortunately. Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Well, maybe you can. with the glitch, you can.
Oh yeah, if I jump off and do some nonsense.
If you like charge into the wall a few times, you might be able to reset your abilities.
Oh yeah. I actually don't know how to do that yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
hang on.
How you've been doing on the stream earlier, just jumping at the right time off the wall.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, there you go. You just did it, I think. So then you get your flame charge again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think like if I was in this position here, I'd put like another dandelion flower like right here. Just to make it so that you don't have to run back all the way.
Well, that was what I was
not a dandelion, sorry, a snake.
How, like if you had a dandelion there, then it kind of defeats the point of this whole room where, there's two different ways to get up with each ability. But if you can just get up with one ability, and then the abilities, like if the snake was on this side, then there'll be no reason to go that alternate route in the previous room because the snake's up here now.
Yeah, I mean, like, it depends. Like in this case, we've given options, right? You've got two ways of getting up, so it's really about just whether we want them to backtrack, because it's not a puzzle. If they can't tell what we want them to do before they get to it, like they can't see this part before they get here. So instead, it's not going to feel like a puzzle. It's going to feel like a chore. Like, oh, I guess I just have to go get the other one now. Which is
that's right. Yeah.
Which is okay. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, depending on I guess the context of where this would live in the level, I would consider like just giving them,
the snake. Yeah.
Just giving it to them, just to save them from having to go get it themselves.
Yeah, that's right. Or if I do want to explore that kind of thought process, then I would make any kind of running back a lot shorter.
Do you know what you could do? If they see this and they go, oh, I need the flower, maybe you could put a snake up here. Like right here. I wonder if that would change it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Then they don't have to swap back again.
Yeah, or something like that. Maybe even like...
And they could still get up from the... They won't be trapped in that.
Or you could put a flower here, or the chest here, another flower here, so that even if you get down here with the snake, you can always swap back and forth from up here. But you can't get up without the flower to begin with. Like, I don't know. I guess my point is, like, we can always massage this stuff out to make it flow a little bit better.
It's all been like a bit of a path of discovery with like what to think about.
Yeah. I do want for us to go down the path of figuring out the bounds of this stuff, like what actually what are the exact distances Armin should be able to jump. So that we know confidently, like, oh, this is we could even give them names, like this is a X amount, an XY jump, and Armin shouldn't be able to make that. Or this jump is this X across and no Y, and so he should be able to make that. Like drawing a little diagram would probably help us.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of what I've been trying to experiment with as well, with both abilities, like if you have the charge and then, the backflip and how high you should be able to reach. And
Yeah. Do you feel like that's something that you would be interested in actually starting to devise?
Yeah, and then, and then we try to tone down.
Yep.
Or increase the range of certain things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I've written down a bit of, just on like a notebook, but but like I mentioned before, some of it's a bit ambiguous, especially with the stall attack in the air. Like,
yeah, well, we can.
It seems like you're a few pixels off.
Well, that's where I guess it's like a question of like because we can define it, we can clear the ambiguity up. Like we could say, okay, let's disambiguate. There is the normal jump distance you can jump, and then there is the amount you get with an air stall, and then there is the amount you could get with a charge. That's the distance. We can decide that, and then we can decide, okay, actually, hang on a second. Yeah, actually, for us to design the levels correctly, we want this to be longer and we want this to be shorter. And this way, the distance you can cover without charge versus the distance you cover with charge is more, it's clearer, right? And so it's easier to design puzzles that require charge in that context. That's something that we can do. I'm not afraid of this exercise. I think we should do it.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that'll be clearer what, rather than trying to design a level based on the current values, you can try to mold the values a bit.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, and I think we should be talking in terms of blocks rather than, we could talk about values in terms of actual floating point numbers, but like blocks is probably that's the level design standard. So
yeah,
we should be able to translate the conversation back to blocks at one point. It's also important, there are a couple of little things like to keep in mind when we're tweaking this stuff. This is the outcomes. Like if I was like a Smash Brothers player, I would talk in terms of like this kind of stuff. But there are different factors for how Armin's player controller works that influence this. For example, when we talk about the distance Armin can get with like an air stall, obviously that includes how far forward you can fall after you stall out. So like this, after you do the attack button, you'll fall like this. And I can stretch this out depending on your airspeed. So I can make you have I can make you accelerate if you hold the right stick, hold the stick to the right. And so then suddenly like this becomes achievable. You know, you can land on a ledge that's here or here or here, depending on how much time you have and how much you accelerate to the right when you hold in the air freely. You know what I mean?
You mean like when you happen to press attack, or just holding forward at the same time? Like
after pressing attack in the air while holding forward. So like I'm running, I jump, I attack, and I hold forward after that.
Okay.
That I nerfed that like last week by a lot. Like it used to be that you could sort of do this and then you could end up, you could jump off this way, attack, and pivot back this way and grab something over here before. So like you could do
like
that. And I also, one of the ways that I stopped you from doing it, or I stopped the player from being able to do it, was I actually made it so that when you press the up attack button to like stall out, the amount of time that passes until you actually get that vertical velocity is greater now. So you actually fall further before you get the little up velocity, the velocity cancel. So now when you try to do it, if you were falling down, you will fall further before you get that stall. If you're not falling down, it's fine because your velocity is already 0. So having a little bit of time before you get the little pop-up is not a big deal. But in this context where you're trying to drop down and cancel out your gravity, it's not as useful anymore. So little things like that, there's such subtle tweaks. It's not all just like jump height. You know, it's how long before an animation gives you a velocity. It's how far the game will let you increase your velocity while holding a direction. It's all kinds of stuff like that. The snap distance. So like how far away really Armin should be before he's considered, if this is the ledge, like how far his hand needs to be from the wall before he snaps to it. All that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't have to think about all this. I just want you to think about what you think from a level design perspective as you were doing the exercise that you were doing today. Like, when you were like, oh, this is a bit difficult to design around, or this is a bit ambiguous, or what should I be doing here? Like, those points are what I want to be collecting and building the breakpoints around. So yeah, like for example, you know, if you can kind of, this thing here we just did, that feels like there's something wrong there. So maybe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks high. Maybe 6 should only be accessible with this, or either it's obviously accessible or it's not, definitely not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if 6 is the number, then it should look like you should get there no problem, you know, like it shouldn't be a few pixels off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't mind, just building a little catalog just to start us off. We can revisit it tomorrow, and
okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like complete because it's going to be really hard to get a complete list. But if you start us off, we can start solving for those little situations.
All right, I can do that in Figma, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Figma's good as long as you're comfortable setting up the grid space sizes for these things. Yeah, it's no problem.
All right, not a
cool.
problem.
All right. Awesome.
All right, there is that the 4th level, but that's a bit experimental.
Oh, there's one more?
I want to have a look at it.
Missed it.
For a bit of fun. It's a bit short, but...
Yep.
Yeah, that one there.
When you're doing this stuff in Figma, are you going to... It might be really useful to screenshot the levels that you're making now, or like parts of them, because we've got the grid in there. Oh, you figured out how to do the... How did you know where the fall thing is?
Oh, it was on the B-side thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That you made.
That's right.
A while ago. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to go this way. Can I go back and will it open back up again?
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Very cool. Oh, there's going to be a flame charge or something up here.
Maybe.
Hey, that's good. I mean, like, that's perfect in terms of like building anticipation. The fact that I could call it and it worked is a good thing. You know, it feels good to be right about this kind of stuff as the player. Because it meant I could get excited for it. And maybe, like, you know, the next time they see something like this, we surprise and delight by giving them something, you know, we subvert their expectations by giving them a different tool that they didn't know that they could use. But that was great.
Oh, yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's a bit buggy, like if you fall off where the platforms originate from.
Oh, you like...
Out a bit.
Oh, I see. So, like, if I drop down this way... Oh, have you got a collider exactly where the...
Well, it's just when the platform goes underneath, it still, I guess, exists there. And I don't know, you kind of get stuck.
Yeah, because it's... Yeah, what it's doing is... So there's a thing you can do here to make that not work, I think. Basically, there's a variable on the self-awareness script. So Armin has one, all the enemies have one down here, self-awareness. And self-awareness has a property called last safe ground or last ground. Last safe position? Get ground safety. No, that's not it.
It's like a property you could put
Last
on
ground
the...
pause, this one here. Yeah, so as long as the ground collider that we're not about to jump on or touching is tagged, as long as it's not tagged as a moving platform, then it'll call this, the position you're at right now, it will call that a safe ground pause, so that when you get killed, it'll respawn you back at that last ground pause.
Is that already in the code? Or...
Is it already what?
The moving platform tag, that was already there, wasn't it, though?
Yeah, there's a problem. These moving platforms, they untag themselves, depending on if they're moving or not. So because it's no longer moving, it becomes a normal platform, and then you die, and then it... Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I know you changed it one time we spoke, how it parents you to the moving platform only when it's moving.
Yes.
But I think this version I'm using doesn't have that.
Yeah,
change.
that may be the case.
I don't know if that might...
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I did notice there was something going on that was a little funky with that. So yeah, if you look at this column container, which has all of the columns, has moving platform on it. But when I press play, oh, it's still considered a moving platform. Hang on. Well, that can't be right. Unless Armin is able to, unless this check that I'm doing doesn't respect composite colliders. Because this check, checks for all of the colliders that overlap the physics 2D area here. I don't know if composite collider makes them excluded from this check. If it doesn't, then yeah, we've got a problem. I would have hoped that it did, but I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Basically, what it means is Armin can consider one of the sub-columns as his, safe thing. I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of using them not as they're intended.
Well, it's kind of cool what you're doing, so they should be intended to work that way.
All right.
Fix moving platform.
And just wait until we get horizontally moving ones. Then even more crazy.
I was considering it. I haven't yet decided to do it, but
Okay.
maybe. I think
I
we
was
have
gonna
to
try
at this point.
rotating one, but I wasn't
No,
sure if
no, no,
that
it doesn't.
would-
I mean, the only thing is, actually,
Because it'll look wrong as well. It'll look like a floor. Oh, actually, I don't know if the angles would still be the same anyway.
it's a really good question. They aren't designed to calculate horizontally, but they may function horizontally once you've... oh, I don't think so, actually. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe we could just give this a
I
little...
hadn't tried yet, yeah.
In any case, I wouldn't expect them to work.
The trigger box as well.
It's okay. The trigger box is for the cutscene. It's all good. I
mean, for
was going to touch this.
the moving wall, but you'll see.
Yeah, it's still there. I'm just going to have to... Oh, shit. Well, it did work. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'll be able to stand on it, I guess. Technically, not perfect, but yeah.
Just a bit of fun, yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool though. Yeah. It's the only thing is, like, I wish it could be arbitrary. I wish you could just make any blocks and make them retract and move in any direction. I think it's going to have to be two separate scripts, one for horizontal, one vertical. It's just a bit awkward the way that I designed it in such a way that it's so carefully constructed to be a vertical thing that it's taking advantage of little tricks and stuff to make it work as a walkable surface with like being able to walk across the columns. Whereas like sliding down them as walls would be a different check altogether. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Well, I think I'm good for now. Do you need any more direction?
No, I think that's good. Yeah, I'll think about working on the document with the spacings and maybe make some suggestions or ideas of what we could do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
All right, awesome.
Catch you tomorrow then.
Thanks, Adam.
See ya.
See you then. Bye.
I'm going to I'm going to put this away, actually. Mute that. I got to take a break. Hey, Sorab. I have a big question. I saw that someone designs pixel art with coding and it turns out very realistic. His name is Alea84. Can you tell me how it works? I've never even heard of that. Pixel art with coding. I think maybe we're just talking about I have seen these before on Reddit. Just the particle systems, maybe? Just like the way the snow works. I don't think that they use code to do the pixel art. That doesn't seem right. Ugh. They do look hand-drawn for the most part. Like this is 3D. There's probably there might be some code involved, but like this would be hand-drawn, or everything in the foreground. These could be particles and they're being wiped away with like some physics. They could be using a game engine, could be using After Effects. The 3D background could be Blender. But could also just be hand-drawn, the background too. I've done. In fact, it might be hand-drawn, the way it's jittering like that. I don't know. No answer. Sorry, bud. They do look like photos, but they could be just down-resed, yeah? And like, down-resed and down, like, crush the palette. It's probably photo bashed, yeah. Like this. It's probably like they've taken an image, down res it, lock it to a palette, and then clean it up. Possible. But you get a lot of people can do a lot of different things. This looks 3D. That's a 3D scene. That looks like a photo. It's just been played with. But you know what? Like I actually wouldn't. What a lot of people do is they might use a photo as a reference, yeah, and then they color pick the colors and then hand draw it over it. So the colors and the shapes are very realistic. The forms are realistic, but you can see where they've done like hand placed certain details. They're using a photo as a guide, basically. All right, these headphones are killing me. The heat is insane. Only in winter can I wear these things. Jesus. All right. I'm going to take another break and I'll be back in a bit. See ya. We're back. Yeah, I don't use a separate project. And if I did, I would have to do some sort of like Git module situation, which is actually not a bad idea. I've never been so heavy duty of a developer to require that, but it's not a bad idea. Where, you know, you almost do like an assembly definition of just the platforming of the game. You wrap that in a Git module, and then you have a separate project that just uses that module for the player character and how they get around. And then you can do, you know, a really lightweight project, playtesting stuff around how this stuff works, and you don't ever have to worry about bloat. That would be a little bit of overhead. There's some tech debt that comes from that, but I think it's a viable approach. You might just have to build the whole project that way. It's hard to do on an 8-year-old project. Yo. Thank you so much for the follow. You read truths. Thank you. All right. Let's switch back over. I'm up and streaming on the new machine and the new mic. We're using the laptop as the streaming machine, but we're using the PC as the work machine. If I'm being honest, I do feel like the laptop is unnecessary. In terms of resources right now, like we have so much CPU. I don't know about GPU, but it's barely being used. It could just be like a matter of, I don't know, like GPU is at 8%, you know, outputting at 1080-60. The Elgato is, I mean, it works for sure. Everything is working. It just feels like a lot of overhead for stream management, specifically around the mic has to be connected to the laptop, which means if I'm doing Discord, I have to either chat to people through Discord, or if I want to speak to them on the work PC, I have to get a second mic. It also means if something's wrong with the stream, I can't see it in my peripheral vision here. It's down there, which means I have to look all the way down here. Which is like, I have this big second monitor here that I'm not even, now I don't have any reason to look at it, except to just have the browser off stream and stuff. But I already could have done that before. So I feel like I had a setup that didn't need a laptop. The laptop is like, if this PC was crashing a lot and stuff, the laptop would be great because it would insulate me from the crashes. But for now, I almost feel like we could just stream from the PC. It would be quieter and less hot because the laptop's pumping out some heat right now. And it would mean I could use my DisplayPort instead of my HDMI out on the thing. Because right now, like, I've got to route HDMI out to the little Elgato, and then that has an out to the monitor and a USB to the thing. And so I don't think the FPS is capped. I think I am getting 144 hertz. But I did have to do something to get there. Can't remember what it was. But not a big deal. It's all good. Where did my little scene go? Man, so annoying. All right. Yeah, it feels like I'm not feeling the benefits enough to warrant having the laptop right now. So let's figure this out. I think we did solve this, right? Logically, I feel like we solved it. Let's go have a look again and we'll implement it. Your voice is very bassier. Really? Hey, Andres. Gracias. Unless you're Brazilian, in which case, obrigado. Okay. So studio monitor earbuds, very nice. Let's implement this thing. So we are in self-awareness, which is now on sensors. And we have our draw ground check, wall check. Why is that not? Oh, that's so weird. So weird. Why can't I see this? Hang on. This is a problem. I guess I can't afford to actually have this script anywhere but here right now. That said, it doesn't seem to be working now either. Maybe I'll just put it back where it was. See if I can make it work. He should break if this wasn't going to work. I mean, it looks good to me. But if I go to his inspector, like, what is this? Hey, Demonster. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. What's this map editor? This map editor is tiled, and this is Unity. Voice is chill and mellow. Sure thing. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I should be able to see his foot sensor. Okay, that's still good. All right, that's still fine. In which case, I'm just going to go on. All right. All right. So this grounded check, it feels like fixed update should be where this lives, but it didn't fix anything to put it here. So I'm going to put it back where it was. I mean, if it was working well enough before, there's no point putting it in fixed update. So this is grounded check is the one we're talking about. Now, on our definitions up at the top here, we've got a few different vectors that make up specific points on the body. Let's see if we can annotate these in a way that will get us the same the same thing. So also, if I'm sounding a little bit too S-y, let me know. I'm really concerned about it being too on the mic. So I think this distance, in fact, all of these can be squares. Like, not S-y. Cool. Not William. All right. Okie doke. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So the value is going to be, we'll call it ground padding. Okay. And I want to call this 0.4. I think that's probably the right value here. Now, do I have a thing called ground rect? I do. So ground rect is what we draw when we create this. And so when I'm pressing play, ground rect should start underneath body rect x min, y min, and then y min minus ground ray length. So actually ground ray length times 0.5. I mean, that feels a little weird to call that, but if I press play, this is the depth of that. So that's pretty close to what we've got already. And this ground ray, I think that's for checking almost. Ground ray length. Oh, but we're only checking 0.5. Are you ever checking ground ray length not 0.5? Oh, for this. Okay. Body rect dot width times 0.05. Ugh, that's ugly. Lots of magic numbers here. Not very good. Also, what's all this? We're like halfway down the... We're halfway down the function here, the class. All these definitions suddenly appear. Adam, did I merge two classes once? All right, anyway. So, yeah, let's have a look here. So we've got ground padding. I'm going to use that instead of the ground ray depth. And on our gizmo, this, I actually want to get a rectangle and define it as this. Yo, big thank you to Straddle for the most recent follow. Welcome. So let's start being a bit more diligent here. Because this has gotten out of control. Get ground check wrecked. Get wrecked. All right. I think this is size. When you create a rect. Yeah. Pos and size. Min is the same as pos, kind of. So back up here when we're drawing gizmos, here we should just be able to say helpers dot draw rect get ground check rect. Fewer fail points now. We can get rid of this. Goodbye, my lover. Now we're actually drawing the thing that we calculated. Before, there was a chance we could accidentally be drawing something different to what we're calculating. What are we building? Player controller at the moment. It's almost like we're at the beginning of the game all over again. Okay, so this ground check rect is going to be the body rect.min. We've got 1 pixel of buffer here, which actually right now, I don't think I want. I think I'm going to start without the buffer. And then minus, this is going to be ground. Did I call it margin or padding? Ground padding. Yeah, cool. So now when we come over here and we run this guy, got a problem? Ah, didn't put a semicolon. Classic. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels. That's correct. So, it doesn't do anything yet. We're not basing anything on that, but we're still building this thing out. So we're going to go now to my laptop is on fire. Whoa, that's hot. Wow. Okay. That's crazy hot. The new PC is going great. We might just have to listen to the jet engine over here for a bit. I'm streaming off the laptop, but I'm working off a PC. Make sense? Yo, am I missing like a bunch of... Oh, I'm missing a bunch of chat. How did I miss that? Did I drop the chat at one point? Oh, my YouTube friends, I'm so sorry. I got you back, YouTube. Time to cook eggs. All right. So, all right, we've got this thing, and that's fine. I'm gonna call these can be remade. We can rebuild it. Let's call it I'm going to rename this. We need to qualify it a little bit. Ground rect. Safe ground rect. So what I want to do is say get that, and then return this, but what I want to do is, oh, I don't even need the NUC. I'll just stream off the PC. I'll stream off the PC and I'll use the capture card for other things. Still a good card. I'll still use it for like if we ever stream gameplay or anything like that. We did Elden Ring a few months ago. We could do more play stuff, or even once we get like I wonder if I can stream a Switch dev kit. I wonder if I can stream that. I don't know. Like a unit. I don't know. Okay. Ground rec dot min equals plus ground padding. Can I do this? Vector 2 dot right times and then ground rec dot size times 2. Yeah? You want me to do Let's Plays? I would love to do like Let's Play book club kind of thing. Whoa, is it times 4 or times 3? That can't be right. This? Is it 4? Really? 1? No, that's way off. Okay, then it's just minus ground padding. Wait, how is this compiling in real time? How does that... Wait, what? How is Unity doing this? I don't have hot reload turned on. How did that just happen? What? Sorry, what? Okay. Oh, min doesn't affect... Min must make the size smaller when you set it. Size must be a derived value because it must be generating based on min and max. This size must be... Yeah, it is. It's not actually a thing. How did you score a Switch dev kit? I haven't scored one, but I probably should think about getting one soon. I've got acquaintances that have them, and they're just devs like me. All right. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We could make the max. It might make more sense to do it this way. Hopefully nothing changes. Yeah, cool. I think that's more logical to talk about min and max rather than min and size. And then we'll call this like vector to offset shrink equals. And then this is just like shrink minus shrink. Oh, so cute. Compound assignment? I don't even know what that is. Oh, minus equals. Oh, you can do that? It's not going to ruin this? I always get worried about that. Anyway. Sometimes it's like, oh, you can't assign this property. What are you trying to do? Okay, so now we want to do 2 green blocks on the right side and left side. We'll make them pink instead. Magenta. We'll do 2 of them. We'll call this get wall check rect. Foot wall. I'm going to have to call it that. That's it, because it's not a wall check. It's a wall check specifically around the foot. Get foot wall check rect. Foot wall rect. Lose the check. All right. So this is a little more straightforward. We should take this and it's vector to direction, and then it's normalize that, and then I think bottom is actually the word I'm looking for here, but bottom might be a float. Yeah, that's it there. So we're at the center. I'm not recreating a collider. I don't want it to be a collider. It's just an overlap check for later. I don't want to make a collider from scratch. It's just a rectangle. Hey, thank you so much, Super Rad. See ya. And this needs to be procedural because I'm going to make different things of different sizes. Like all the enemies inherit this. So it's all good. So it's direction to the right times half width minus ground padding. Is that French for center? It's English for center. For you Americans. That's how we spell it in the Commonwealth. And we spell meter like this too. Okay. All kinds of words. Most of your ER words we spell RE. Or a lot of them, not most of them. Okay. Not that word. Okay. So pos equals center plus direction What did I just do? Something just profoundly broke, but I have no idea what it is. Why does this happen? Sometimes it just goes system.numerics. Sometimes it just decides that it wants to add a using statement.